Hey, fellow babies, and welcome to the only show on YouTube clinically proven to be a cure for those who are easily amused. It's the 42 Show.
That's why I'm here.
His wife makes him attend.
Yes. Yeah, it's all therapy.
Yeah, but not as therapeutical as spinning the wheel of doom.
Doom, 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 doom. Oh, it's me again. Oh,
Wow.
I keep winning.
Yeah.
I should buy a lottery ticket.
Who's this guy?
So, yeah, a boy who vanished, age 17, has been rescued almost 30 years later
Whoa!
from underneath his neighbor's home following an alleged kidnapping. The victim Omar bin Omran, disappeared in Jelfa in Algeria 27 years ago. And his family assumed that he had died during the civil war between the North African country's government and various Islamic rebel groups. Viral footage of Omar, now in his 40s, captures the moment he is brought out of his hiding place after being discovered by cops who raided a house near his old family home. And officials confirmed the 61-year-old man who was arrested and suspicion of holding him prisoner. Very strange.
Very.
Yeah, next door. He was next door for 30 years and nobody knew. Yeah, the guy who kept him prisoner worked as a civil servant and lived alone. Well, not entirely. And a neighbor of the man told, hang on, yeah, the neighbor of the poor man who abducted said that, you know, his mum died while he was in captivity without even knowing what happened to him, and without knowing all this time he was just right next to them.
Is there any report that he knew he was only next door, or like did he know he was literally just right there and just couldn't?
I don't know.
That would drive you insane.
So little. There's so little. Yeah, well, a court official in Jelfa was quoted as saying, as 2 days ago, on 12th of May, 2024, the public prosecutor's office received a complaint against an anonymous person claiming that Omar bin Omran, who had been missing for 30 years, was in the house of one of his neighbors inside a sheepfold, or a sheep pen. Following the National Gendarmerie went to open an in-depth investigation, and officers went to the house, and there he is. He found him. And officials have promised the perpetrator of this heinous crime will be tried with severity. Yeah. There's very little in this story about what Omar has to say about it and what he knew. The only thing that does come out of this, which is really kind of strange, is Omar said that he was unable to call out for help because of a spell the alleged abductor had cast on him.
Okay, what?
He was a witch. He cast a spell on him, and so he couldn't cry for help.
No, that's called a gag. Hopefully it didn't have a ball.
It doesn't make sense, does it? Maybe we should cast a spell on, Donald Trump. That maybe we should do that.
If only, yeah. Don't execute that old man yet. We need him to cast that spell one more time.
Yeah, such a bizarre story, this one. But yeah.
Wow.
He's out.
We got to keep watching for updates, because I've got to know how, I want to hear from the victim. I want to hear some statements aside from, magic. What? Wasn't expecting that ending. Yeah. So, in this day and age, to get the good deals at McDonald's and stuff, pretty much you have to have the app. If you don't understand why, it's because then they have their hooks in their phone and they have access to your information the way that Google, Android does, and all the other people that have an app in your phone. Why shouldn't they, right? So you use your phone and they have the coupons in it. So you go up to the drive-thru and you got to pull out your phone and you've got to get it scanned so you get the coupon deal. Well, a dude in Saskatchewan, a younger dude as well, Saskatchewan, Canada here, the province, they're kind of like states, but bigger. He pulled up to the drive-thru at McDonald's and he pulled out his phone to get the app out and prepared to show his coupon so he gets his free meal. And a police officer on a motorcycle behind him in line got off the bike and came over and gave him a ticket for using his phone behind the wheel.
Yeah. Oh, I saw this story. What?
Yeah.
Because I've been to a McDonald's drive-through recently, and it's basically it's got on the boards telling you to use your app.
Exactly.
To put your order in. It tells you to.
Yeah, and more and more are doing this. It's unbelievable. So. Kid says, I thought he was just going to let me go because I was trying to get my free meal, but nope. He gave him the full-on distracted driving ticket, and he was stopped in the drive-through.
Yeah, he was fined over $500.
Yeah,
on the spot.
And the Saskatchewan RCMP, that's the Royal Canadian Mounted Police, and in this case, the guy was actually on a motorcycle, so the M matters, are saying, no, he was observed using the phone while driving, and the officer followed him in and then got off the bike to get him. But there's going to be cameras everywhere. And the kid is like, no, I am fighting this tooth and nail because I shouldn't be getting in trouble for doing what you have to do in the drive-through. So it's a really interesting little quirk on how the distracted driving law is going to play out. It's kind of like drink driving in Canada. If you're hammered behind the wheel and you have the keys in the ignition, even if the car isn't running, the odds are you're going to get a ticket. That's how it works. And that's the logic this cop is applying to this situation. But in my mind, it's BS unless they can truly prove the kid used the phone behind the wheel. Right? Because that's one of the things I saw about it is that, they're trying to throw it out because they were on private property. Yeah. Right. So it's an interesting situation. I can't wait to see how this unfolds because if the car was moving, even in the parking lot and he had the phone out in his hand doing things, you're probably busted. But if he truly didn't pull it out until he stopped in the drive-through, then this is absolute BS. It'll be interesting to see how it plays out.
Yeah. Hopefully he wins.
I hope so too. Because, you've got to use your phone in the drive-thru to get the coupons. So who's at fault here? Is it McDonald's fault because they're forcing you to use your phone behind the wheel? It's just kind of stupid.
Very stupid.
Yeah. Speaking of which.
Yeah, talking to stupid people. This is going to be interesting because the Vatican has announced that it is set to hold a press conference on supernatural phenomena tomorrow. And it will touch on aliens and how it will deal with the potential encounters in the future. Yeah, well done, Vatican. Just what we need. According to a notice on the Vatican's website, it will kick off at noon tomorrow. I'm assuming it means noon in Italy. And will feature 3 prominent Vatican members being held to present new provisions for discerning between apparitions and other supernatural phenomena. Yeah, I know how to do that. You go, bullshit. Yeah. The move to hold the press conference has caused ripples in the alien community. Hang on, I didn't know we had one. What?
Didn't know they were all out in the water somewhere.
That's a giveaway. Aliens exist. They got a community.
Yeah, Giorgio Tsoukalos and his family.
But apparently there hasn't been a conference like this since February 1978. So everyone's getting very excited about it. It says it's also been done after a surge in reporting of aliens and supernatural phenomena from mainstream media. Again, I just say bullshit. Just because they're reporting bullshit on the telly doesn't mean anything. But no, the Vatican have to get involved. For their flock.
You know what's going to come out of this? Just in case on is it Gliese, the star that's closest to us that might have a habitable planet zooming around it? If what they're probably going to do is start fundraising to build a ship so they can get there and spread the word, right? That's probably what's going up, right?
Yeah, well, they had that in The Expanse. Well, the Mormons built a starship to go and bugger off and colonize somewhere else.
Yes, South Park made fun of it too. It was hilarious.
But yeah, well, wait and see. I mean, because that bloody stupid. I use the term whistleblower very, very, very lightly. You know, that David Grush guy who's been to Congress and stuff like that.
Oh God, yeah.
He's basically said, the Vatican know, and they got stuff in their vaults, and it's just like, oh, shut up, you cretin. And so it's all kicking off with stupidity. But it's interesting.
Yeah.
You got something which is made up, called the Catholic Church, talking about other things that are made up.
Yeah, like grey aliens.
Yeah. So the two go hand in hand, I suppose.
Seems to. I find it strange. I thought they would just disavow anything like this unless they could prove that they were still God's creatures or something. Yes. I don't know. Greg Terry gonna hate us for that one.
Oh yes.
Yeah. So we should do a little Musk watch. And here we go. So Tesla now is going to be facing a lawsuit alleging fraud for claiming its cars could fully drive themselves. And so it goes back to a claim made in 2016. All cars from here out forward have all the hardware needed for full self-driving. And it's going to take a little while for us to fully get the software ready and roll it out to y'all. That was what Musk said. And it's been this lawsuit has been going to the certain courts, and maybe it's going to happen and maybe not. But now it's going through, and it's class action if you want to get into it. It's let's see here. California Thomas Losalvio's lawsuit points to claims made by Tesla and CEO Musk starting back in 2016. And this guy bought the car in 2017, and it's supposed to have full self-driving capability. But a couple of years later, it turned out that to have true self-driving, the Teslas were going to need LiDAR and a couple other sensors that the earlier ones don't have. And so this isn't truly about Tesla just not having it ready yet and saying, oh yeah, like using it as a sales tool and then not fulfilling. This is about the fact that they outright lied because the older cars don't have enough of the hardware to even make it happen.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Oopsies.
Yeah, and that is going to be a slam dunk as far as I'm concerned. If you don't know the story, way back in the early days of video games, Mattel released the Intellivision 1979. And one of their big selling points was, in another year, you will have the keyboard attachment to turn your Intellivision into a full computer. It didn't come. There was consumer complaints, and it got to the point where Mattel, the makers of the Intellivision, were fined I think it was $50,000 a week until the product was shipped or ready to ship.
Ooh.
Oh yeah, because of making false claims.
Put fire under it.
Yeah, right. And so they did bring out, the thing was ready. It was bug ridden. It was awful, but they did finally get around it. And I don't see why this is any different. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, every single person that bought a Tesla with I'm going to have a full self-driving car in the near future thing that doesn't have the LiDAR and the other sensors to make it happen, each one of them is owed a huge chunk of cash because they overpaid for a car that did under-deliver, right? You know?
Yeah, didn't meet its promises.
Yeah, same thing as far as I'm concerned. So I'm going to be interested to see how that plays out. Oh,
although,
yeah.
to be honest, you could play better games on the Intellivision than you could on the Tesla.
That's true. Yeah. It doesn't have ludicrous speed, but still.
No.
Well.
You could play Grand Theft Auto on the Tesla, but that's a different matter altogether.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Get tickets, but you'll be all right. You know. Oh, we have a member shout out, and we actually have two. Right. So.
Okay.
Oh man, that was louder than I thought it was going to be. Nerd alert. Laugh all you want. I'll believe the Pope is having biscuits and tea with the aliens before I believe self-driving. Oh, no, I'm with you on that one. 100%. I think the idea that Tesla's cars, as they're even sold right now, will ever be full self-driving is about as believable as, I don't know, his schooling credentials.
Well, we'll have to wait and see what the Vatican think about Tesla. You know, when they
maybe they'll have tea and biscuits discussing the matter
with the one alien, Elon.
And at the end of last week's show, we also had Secular Sakai jump in with a member message.
Last night.
Last night, sorry, yeah. And hey, guys, I hope everything's going well. Well, it is, at least on the channel. So thanks, dude, and we'll see you Saturday. Okay, we're caught up now. You're making me hungry.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah. Is it or isn't it? Will it or won't it? You know, because Martin Quintana, 53, has been trying for about 3 years to open his second, the famous taco location in Fort Wayne. But the development at a plaza Quintana owns limits the business to a sandwich bar style restaurant whose primary business is to sell made-to-order Subway style sandwiches. Tacos are not sandwiches. So Quintana said the nearby Covington Creek Association contacted him saying that the famous taco proposal somehow ran afoul of that commitment. Yeah, because they're not sandwiches. So he sued Fort Worth Plan Commission after it denied his proposed amendment that would specifically allow his restaurant to offer made-to-order tacos, burritos, and other Mexican-style food items. And the judge ruled, amongst other things, but the court agrees with Quintana that tacos and burritos are Mexican-style sandwiches.
Yes.
And the original written commitment does not restrict potential restaurants to only American cuisine style sandwiches. American? Hang on a minute.
No, but it's true. The only difference. No, but hold on. The only difference between like a ham and cheese sandwich and a burrito is the culture's way of making your daily bread. That's truly it. It's a bit goopier, but you know, whatever. This
is what Quintana said. He said, that's a sandwich. That's bread. That's a sandwich. That's right. He said, with lots of surrounded by tortillas and tortas and all kinds of stuff. Yeah. We go through a lot of those. It's a sandwich.
Yeah, I agree.
It's a rolled up sandwich. It's a wrap. There's a wrap a sandwich.
Totally. It's a sandwich where everything doesn't squeeze out the sides when you eat it. That's why we saw the burrito and saw that it was good and turned it into the wrap in North America, right? Because it's convenient. You can eat it in the car without ruining your upholstery.
Well, the thing is, technically, it's not a sandwich because a sandwich is a layering up of things. So, and that's where you get things sandwiched together because it's one thing stacked on top of another thing. In a stack. That's a sandwich. Whereas they're not if you had your tortas layered up, then that's a sandwich.
You couldn't overthink this more if you had been drinking all day. It's stuff in bread.
Yeah, I know, but technically that's not necessarily a sandwich. But
I see your mouth moving, but it's not making enough sense for me. It
is an absolutely stupid ruling.
Yeah.
But technically, I can see where they're right, but also technically, I can see where they're completely wrong. So it's just like bollocks. Shut up.
I'm in support of this decision. I'm calling Taco Bell to order some Mexican sandwiches after.
Mm. Well, it's like when you get an open sandwich, which is basically just like a piece of bread with stuff on top of it. Then that's not a sandwich.
that's just a mess on a plate. A sandwich is meant to be picked up. Yeah. Yeah.
Enough about that.
Kobe Jack threw in a $30 direct donation there, and it's to help out the channel. Big thanks to myself and Dunk and YouTube and the team.
Oh, thank you very much. I love you very much. Kissy kisses.
And the YouTube team. Sorry, I got that. Yeah, you knew what I meant. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, then. Yeah.
Yeah. Big thanks there, Kobe. Thank you very much. Where am I going here now? Oh yeah. So the government's dumping on TikTok because of stealing your information for the Chinese government. Well, it's only growing because Canada's in the act now. Let me just get to my thing here. Sorry, I'm totally out of my thing here. The intelligence chief of Canada, so think like J. Edgar Hoover, and maybe he wears dresses. I don't know. But the CSIS director says that data gleaned from the popular app is 100% available to the government of China. Yeah, they're saying in some of his most hawkish comments to date, the head of Canada's intelligence agency is warning Canadians, blah, blah, TikTok. What the hell does hawkish mean? I mean, the only time I've ever heard hawk used in a sentence like that is when somebody calls you a hammer hawk because your eyes strayed to the other urinal. Don't do that. Don't be a hammer hawk. But they say that the whole idea and design behind TikTok is a very clear strategy on the part of the government of China to be able to acquire personal information from anywhere around the world. They're using it to monetize you, to structure like behaviors and whatnot. And then as such, they also have an inroad for, slight propagandas that can slowly build and catch you and take you on a line of thought. And so the Canadians are now totally going full hard, I guess, against TikTok, just like America. And I can see why, because China just did that big thing with Putler there, we're strengthening our ties. We're going to make sure that our sovereign territories, and when they say this, they're talking about Taiwan and Ukraine for the respective bullies. So I can see that the governments more and more are like, well, imagine the kind of money TikTok's bringing in with all their rights agreements for music usage and stuff. We're making China a fortune here. We don't need to do that. I agree. Get them out of here. Fuck them.
Do you think there's a special room in the Chinese government where they watch girls shake their booties at the screen?
Oh, I'm sure there is. There is.
How can we work this to our advantage?
Yeah. It's just they have an orgy room at the Capitol, right? But yeah, I mean, number one, they get money from it, and number two, they get all the information they need to make more money and have more influence. So. Yeah. Now, this is a really cute picture, but I don't think it's going to go that way, is it?
No. Imagine him in a sandwich. Because, a Colombian dentist, I see why that is relevant whatsoever. Layla Medina claims she was eating a seemingly healthy pasta meal at her family's Miami area home when she noticed an unusual texture and flavor in her mouth. The morsel was so foul that she spat it out and placed it on a plate to find the source of the unsavory taste.
Oh God, don't say it.
To her horror, she claims she saw whiskers and a tiny snout among the other features not typically found in a spinach ravioli.
Oh, I'm going to hurl. Oh.
Yeah. Medina, who was 8 months pregnant at the time, says she didn't take long to realize that the Kirkland brand ravioli from Costco contained the head of a mouse or similar rodent.
Oh!
She says she suffered from gastrointestinal illness and was psychologically scarred by the experience. Yeah, I would say so.
I would never, ever again eat anything with the word Kirkland on it. Oh, my God.
Ratatouille, a bit of that. In a lawsuit she recently filed against retail giant Costco and Rana Meal Solutions in a Florida court. The complaint demands damages for negligence and strict liability and breach of warranty, and just basically adding dead, rotten mouse carcasses into the ravioli.
Yeah, you're disgusting pricks and you deserve to be taken down for it. Holy. You can't just say oops to that.
Well, the worst thing is she found it's that old gag, isn't it? You find worst thing is finding an insect in your lettuce is finding half an insect in your lettuce.
Yeah.
The rest of it was fine. She just until she got to the head bit, the crunchy bit. I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. Because where,
There's a whole lot more to this story, but it's just like details we don't really care about. She got ill and all this kind of stuff, and But what do you expect? That it's a decomposed rodent's head.
Oh man, oh, it's awful. Okay, let's see here. We'll wipe that from your memory, everybody. Here's a cool video of Zelensky going and meeting some of the troops and whatnot. He's right up in Kharkiv doing this. He's meeting some of the guys that were injured and some of the doctors and the fighters. It was a really cool moment. He was thanking them. They're in a tough spot when it comes to Kharkiv right now. It's
quite incredible that he went there.
Yeah, very dangerous place to be. He says they're doing okay, all things considered, but shelling continues, threats remain. The local Vovchansk, how does Greg Terry say that? Damn it. Local administration guy was wounded. It's just not the best situation, but for the guy to show up and be there, that's the reason I brought this up. It's just, he's got balls of steel, man. That's not modern leader, stay away from the bad zone type behavior, right? There was a little more to this here. I thought that would pause it. There we go. If we come over to here quick, the Secretary of State Blinken there, a bit more details on his announcement from Wednesday have come out, and $2 billion of the $60 billion big package is directly going to Ukraine, like not to Ukraine's friends around the borders that have gear that could be good for Ukraine. So America's just kind of buying it and sending it over. Or it's not earmarked for weapon suppliers to be able to give to Ukraine, but this is going direct to Ukraine themselves for internally building up their ability to have some extra weapons manufacturing and stuff. And the reason I brought this up was this is only the third country ever to get the direct cash instead of just foreign military financing where you can get from other countries and get it in and stuff. The only others have been Israel and Taiwan. So the details of that $60 billion package are actually starting to get better and better as you start reading through it, because a lot of assistance should be flowing in between now and the next little while, like continue more, not just, that shipment's in and we're done. So I think that's good. I'm hoping this proves to more news will come out where even more of this is going to really right now stuff and not just maybe soon. And yeah. So
let's fill them up with so much stuff they don't know what to do with.
Exactly. Right. Yeah. So yeah, good. Right. The more, the better. And we're talking about billions. So big money, right? Big money. Yeah. This, what the hell is that picture?
I don't know. I suppose I better explain. Yeah, this is a very odd story, and even once you've read it, you'd still be asking questions, because a parachute that was reportedly attached to pigeons to carry handwritten messages during World War II has been found after roughly 80 years.
I'm sorry, you said a parachute.
A parachute for a pigeon.
For a pigeon.
Obviously the ones that get shot down. yeah.
I mean, do they often get shot down when they're flying their planes? No.
The thing is, if you look at the image, there's probably a better image of it. It's a thing that the pigeon wears around it like a jacket, and then it's dropped by parachute. There you go.
Couldn't you just let it go?
Anyway, okay, I'll go with the story. We'll have a conversation about this afterwards. But a family recently donated the rare item to the House on the Hill Toy Museum in Stansted, Essex, England, and said that the parachute was discovered in an old shoebox. The parachute was stored inside the home of a deceased woman who had been being referred to as Mrs. Ellington because they want to keep it secret. I don't know. Mrs. Ellington's relatives who spotted the shoebox that contained items and documents related to D-Day, including the pigeon parachute. I'm assuming no pigeon was involved.
Is it supposed to wiggle out of it as it's falling? I mean, it's just... They can fly.
It's a sandwich. It's a sandwich.
Yeah, I could understand for like roosters or something, you know? It's just...
Frozen chickens.
Turkeys. Yeah, you know?
Yeah, but the parachute was thought to have been used before the landings of D-Day on June 6, 1944. Yeah, you know,
I don't, because by putting it in that bag, now it can't fly, so it needs a parachute. But if you didn't do that, it would just fly. I'm so confused. I don't get it.
It doesn't really go into it, but I'm assuming for some reason I'm assuming they threw the pigeons out the back of a DC-10.
Were they shot from cannons or something? Like, it's just
they were dropped in parachutes, and then they were given the messages, and then they would fly home afterwards. I can only assume.
Yeah, you're not allowed to use your wings until the guy gets his message. So the bird's just falling, going, "I don't get it, but it doesn't seem fatal." You know, like it's.
Yeah, this is another thing. What is it? The International Military Antiques company basically said that the pigeons were typically identified by a unique name or number, and sometimes carried a large variety of information.
Hey, George, come here. Get in the bag. I got your parachute. What?
So they already had the information in the parachute. Why were they carrying information in the parachute if the idea was because
couldn't you just parachute the information down? Never mind the bird.
I don't know. I don't know why you put the information in
while
you're parachuting the pigeons in.
You know, when the military comes to a spot and they parachute in some gear on pallets and stuff, can you imagine like 70 pigeons attached to it that just fly away when it lands? Why? What the fuck?
Oh, this article is pretty poor. Oh, it's like explaining.
PJ's got a good one though. But then the dude can put the reply in the bird like on its foot, and the bird could fly back.
Yeah.
So
yeah. I said that bit. But why were they dropping it with information before? You load it up with information that you already know, and then the pigeon's going to fly back, flapping its wings, knackered, carrying the information that you just sent it with in the first place.
So we got a pigeon bomb.
Yeah, poor little bastards.
That's hilarious, man. Yeah, that's funny. So
thank you for your service, though.
Yeah. So from something that could be useless to something that truly is. This piece of work. So he just signed into law some new legislation. If you don't know, this is Ron DeShitz's pants, Florida guy. Climate change will be a lesser priority in Florida and largely disappear from state statutes under legislation signed on Wednesday by this piece of crap. It also bans power generating wind turbines offshore or near the state's lengthy coastlines. Critics said the measure made law by the former Republican presidential hopeful ignores the reality of climate change and threats in Florida, including projections of rising seas, extreme heat, and flooding, and increasingly severe storms. Yeah, because none of those ever happen in Florida. You got it. This guy is the dumbest piece. Use that necktie as a noose, you moron. It takes effect July 1st.
Sea levels, you've definitely got to take that into account around Florida. It is basically sea surrounding the whole bloody thing.
I know. If it goes up like 2 feet, Florida's gone. Like it won't even exist, And so one group of planetary watchers that are trying to, get everybody on board with climate change and stuff. He says this purposeful act of cognitive dissonance is proof that the governor and state legislator are not acting in the best interests of Floridians. Is that really what it is? That sounds more like a carbofluoride thing that comes out of a spray can when you have a shave. Floridians, they're bad for the environment. Well, I guess that's true. Okay, there we go. But rather to protect profits for the fossil fuel industry. And that's it. This guy just sold out Mother Nature to the highest bidder. So, up yours, Ron.
Yeah.
Moron.
Yeah. Mother Nature's going to come along and shit on his face.
Oh, I hope so. With a little parachute so it can fly back home to do it again to him later.
Oh, dude.
Oh, man. But what's wrong with Florida? Come on, people. There's nothing wrong with protecting the environment. You know?
Oh, dear.
So this is, what's the deal with having soccer or football? Sorry.
Yeah, well, this is in New York City soccer game on last
Why is
Wednesday.
he holding the ball with his hands? Oh, okay, I get it.
Soccer. And there's Sergeant Buckchuck.
Buckchuck, baby!
Yay! See, everyone is cheering. See, this is how you shill out a channel. This is how you do it. Well done, Buckchuck. You got us into the news at last. Look at him go.
Yeah. He's not liking being... Oh, they cut just to see what's going over the fence. Oh, there he goes. Not liking you people. Oh, poor little dude. He's freaking out.
Yeah. So, there is a guy that comes into, very, very cleverly try to sort out the situation. I think he's just about to come in any moment now, with a wonderful sort of technique for rounding up raccoons. Where is he? Come on, dude. Oh, look, he's going to have a shit there. It's like Dixie having a piss on the carpet.
Look in the cornhole, making sure he's clean.
Come on, go. If only he was wearing the Shills t-shirt at the same time.
Yeah. Why didn't you get dressed, Buckchuck? What were you thinking?
You let us down. You let us down, mate.
Yeah. He must be getting tired.
Yeah.
Somebody give him the ball.
He could be winning at this point.
Yeah.
He's got the pitch to himself.
Yeah.
There he goes, Buckchuck, up to the centre field. And he goes to the goal mouth, and he kicks, and he scores. Oh, here comes the amazing technique they use for rounding up Sergeant Buckchuck.
They probably sent somebody from the Philly squad because they haven't scored yet. No, guys, we're winning. You guys deal with it.
No, I'd watch this. Oh, this is a much better game. This is a much better game. Buckchuck is he going into defensive posture? He's over to the other side now.
The guy with the barrel with the garbage bin just gave up because he's totally out of shape. They should have gave it to a soccer player, right?
Do you imagine like 5 minutes ago that bin was probably just full of half-eaten hot dogs and shit.
Yeah.
Just like tipped it out.
Yeah.
Should have just thrown the pitch with hot dogs and
He'd have just
Buckchuck would have gone, oh
yeah.
Yummy. Come on, dude. Go.
Oh, yeah. Just grab up a raccoon. This is going to go well.
Hey!
Oh,
no.
Oh, man. Don't hurt him. Okay.
No.
Okay. Now, how are they going to figure out the rest? This isn't like catching a fly with a glass and sliding a piece of paper underneath, right?
Exactly.
They haven't solved anything yet.
Oh dear. But so anyway, in response to actually, finally catching us sitting on him like that. But the football union did actually confirm, that the incident after the incident that the animal was completely safe and is now in the hands of an exterminator.
What? Safe. Exterminator.
You're safe, buddy. It's Christy Nome. She's coming. She's going to take you to a gravel pit and you're going to meet with your friends.
Taxidermist says he's doing well. It's like...
Oh, poor
man.
Buckchuck. Yeah. So
well, poor us.
Yeah.
We're late, but we're going to have an after show in like 5 minutes. I've just got to run upstairs to the head, grab a beer, and sit back down. So we've got thanks in the credits, and thanks for joining us, everybody.
Yeah. See you in a minty.
Keep your stick on the ice.
Keep your dick in the vice.
And a big thanks to our team in the back.